And we are back here on the Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com. Thank you for joining me. Of course, we're broadcasting from the Radio on Fire studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. As I said on our right before our last break, plenty of news to get to. But before we do that, radioonfire.com, over 20 shows here. And we are bringing information and entertainment to urban America, whether it's sports, news, relationship topics, whatever it is. Radio on Fire has the urban experience covered from all angles. So, without any further ado, let's dive in. The Golden Dragon is a restaurant in Milford Mill for people that don't live in Baltimore. It's an area just outside of the city. It's what we call here the county. But this particular area is it's a decent area. It's not a bad area. It's not what you call the hood. Not at all. However, from time to time, things happen, right? There was like a brawl there a few months ago, but all in all, I would say it's kind of a regular spot. It's a popular spot here in Baltimore. But unfortunately, early this morning, one person dead, one person injured after a officer-involved shooting at Golden Dragon. So, Baltimore County police officers are investigating this right now. And, as I said, one person dead, one person with a minor injury. And this preliminary investigation shows that the Golden Dragon Bar and Grill, which is it's on Liberty Road, 8100 Liberty Road. They closed 2 a.m., something like that. So this happened about 1:45. An argument broke out between two individuals in the back parking lot. If you've ever been to the Golden Dragon, so you have the parking lot in the front, which is pretty much nothing, not a lot of cars to get there. You got like a side area, and then they have like a back area, right? And so that's where the argument took place between some individuals. So, according to Baltimore County Police Officer Corporal Sean Vincent, that's what happened. That's what he said. Now, here's where it gets fuzzy. An off-duty officer with another jurisdiction. So he was not in the jurisdiction where he is. And see, that's what I was talking about. You got a front parking lot. That area where you see those cars at, that's the front. That's Liberty Road right there. Then you have a side area, and then there is parking, as I said, in the back of the building, like the overflow parking. So anyway, this off-duty officer from somewhere else saw the incident and approached the individuals when he saw that one of them had a handgun. So this officer, who was obviously off duty, he was super cop. He was outside at the right moment, witnessed that a argument was taking place, and then he was able to also notice that one of the individuals had a gun. This is an amazing officer. Shouldn't we know where this officer works? I can't wait till we find out where this officer works, because this officer is amazing. And I know I sound like I'm being a bit facetious, because I am. It's just strange to me that all of these things came together like this. If all these things came together like this all the time, if we had more officers like this one, then crimes would be getting solved left and right, right? That's what you think. Because this person was just there, enjoying his evening. So here's my question, okay? I want to know this. Was the officer drinking? Because like we said, it's 1:45 in the morning. It's 1:45 in the morning. And so that means that he was there till the end of the evening. The officer I'm talking about, the off-duty officer. And if you're wondering why I'm focusing so much on this officer, the off-duty officer from another jurisdiction, is because he is the person who killed one of the individuals who was arguing. So that's why I have these questions. I have these questions because he is not, as of this broadcast, been revealed. He or she, it's a he, but he or she has not been revealed. Okay, but we're going to continue. The officer then pulled out his gun. So, did he identify himself? Let's go back to the situation. Let's say that you were one of the individuals arguing, right? And then somebody else in plain clothes comes up, approaches you with the gun, and tells you to drop your gun. If I was at a point where I put out a weapon, I mean, he's not in uniform, right? He's from another jurisdiction. He ain't from around here, right? So in this instance, the guy or the individual with the gun, one of the people arguing, did not drop his weapon. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it is. The officer felt threatened. These are the words of Corporal Sean Vinson from Baltimore County. He said that the officer felt threatened. You know where I'm going with this. The officer and the individual exchanged gunfire, and ultimately the individual was killed. And Vinson, the Baltimore County corporal, said that they do believe that the individual was struck, and they're saying that they believe he fired at the officer also. I don't know if I believe that, and let me tell you why. I don't know if I believe that because they say they believe it. How would you believe it? The only way you could believe it is if you found a munition, some bullets from the gun of the other person, but you would know that immediately whether his gun had been fired. Or if the officer told you he fired. But what frequently happens in these cases is they get together, grab the cameras, all the footage that they can grab, and figure out the best story to tell the public and the best course of events that fit what they have revealed to the public. And that's what we're looking at right now. So the individual who had the handgun suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Multiple. Why multiple? Why did the officer light him up? Why? You approached what they say was an argument, right? Nobody called him. He wasn't called to the scene. He was a patron and walked. So if I am someone who works at McDonald's, right? And I'm off work, and my first job was at McDonald's. So if I'm off work, right? And when I'm off work, I go out with my friends, and we frequently would go to Bob Evans, right? So you go to Bob Evans. While I'm at Bob Evans, I see that they're short-staffed. When I take it upon myself to go into the kitchen and start cooking, I know that I'm off work, but I work at McDonald's. So I'm just going to go in here and just start cooking? No. So when you are off duty, I just find it, and I know it's different. But I find it troubling when the same rules apply to officers when they're at work, or whether they're off work, whether they're in their jurisdiction or they're not. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go out of town or over east side and just start doing my job that I'm off of at another place. And everything is just fine. It's just, and then someone lost their life. So everything we're saying is at the direction of this officer who, as I said, wasn't it, we take police officers' word for it, but we didn't have the body camera, right? Had the body camera, right? So there's no body camera because he was off work. So we got to take his word for it. He's just like a regular guy or girl. We don't know, but it was a guy, but whatever. So anyway, the other individual was injured in gunfire, some type of a ricochet, just a superficial wound. The off-duty officer was not injured during the incident, and Baltimore County Police are working to notify his agency, or she, agency, but it's not disclosed as of yet. So we will discuss that when we get the information, what agency the officer is from. So investigators believe that the officer had been outside of the Golden Dragon, the Golden Dragon as a patron, came outside. He was not working as security, is what they're saying. I don't know. It seems really strange to me. It seems strange to me that the individual who is now deceased allegedly fired a shot, didn't hit anybody. Only person who got hit was him, and he was hit multiple times. So this off-duty officer carried his gun inside the Golden Dragon. When did the officer get his weapon? I mean, I go to clubs, right? I have a weapon, okay? Am I taking the weapon in the club? No. Why? Because I'm off, right? And so can he just walk in the, it's this. I have so many questions because, of course, somebody lost their life. Somebody lost their life. Now, you may be thinking if the officer wasn't there, then maybe the other person arguing would have lost their life. That's a lot of ifs. We don't know that. Did the officer coming to this situation escalate things? We don't know. Are there cameras outside of the Golden Dragon? I believe that there are. But as I said, in any event, someone lost their life at the hands of, we don't know where this officer is from just yet. We don't know. But hopefully soon we will know. And this story is ongoing. We will continue to cover that story. In other Baltimore news, the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel Toll Plaza has reopened. We talked about this earlier in the week, and it was on one of the articles on radioonfire.com. The toll plaza for the Harbor Tunnel was closed due to a health scare, and it has been reopened. A health scare? Wait, what's going on? Okay, so the administration building and the cash lines, they were closed. So people were just driving through. They were just saying, don't stop, just drive through. And that was happening. So today they reopened. Now people can pay their money. I know you were wanting to be able to pay your money to go through the tolls. The tolls have been closed Tuesday after 2 workers were diagnosed with Legionnaires. That's it, right? Legionella waste. It was, But anyway, Legionnaires disease. And 2 of the workers diagnosed with that. They didn't know who it affected, how many people it affected. And of course, passing money to these people would have placed motorists in jeopardy. So city and health officials reviewed the premises. They took samples, checked things out. Things seem to be okay now. They did tests, And MTA officials say that they proactively had water systems treated. Isn't that a strange thing to say? Proactively, right? So they want a pat on the back. MTA wants a pat on the back, and we'll give them their pat on the back, right? So that means that water could possibly have been affected, but the tunnel, as I said, did remain open despite the toll plaza's closure. So they missed out on money. Maryland will be just fine. So drivers without easy passes pass through the toll while it was closed. They will be billed at the cash rates. However, drivers who wish to pay in cash must now return using the manned toll booths, or they will be billed at 1.5 times the cash rate. So let me say that again for people. Drivers without easy passes, okay? That's a little square cream colored thing that you have in your window or somewhere, who passed through the plaza while it was closed, they will be billed at cash rates. So you're going to get a bill. All right. And if you have the easy pass, you're good, right? Now, drivers who wish to pay cash must now return to the manned toll booths, or else they're going to bill you time and a half. Okay. Because Maryland got to get their money. Okay. So last thing I want to get into, road closures in downtown Baltimore will continue into next week. If you have been driving downtown, the Baltimore City Department of Transportation would like to advise you that several streets in the downtown area will remain closed due to a water main break. All right. Driving downtown, which I do every day, has been hectic. At this time, numerous city agencies, including the Department of Public Works, Transportation, Fire, Police, and the Office of Emergency Management, along with contractors, private companies, all stops have been taken out, working to repair an underground collapse, which has just been a disaster. It's unclear when the roadways affected will reopen, so it's going to be very lengthy process. Citizens traveling downtown should plan an additional commute time as the work continues. Multiple roadways in downtown area continue to be closed for safety concerns. Of course, it's all for the people. Please listen as I talk about some of these streets. Pratt Street is closed from Paca to Sharp Streets. Okay. So traffic inbound Russell Street cannot turn onto Pratt Street. So that creates a big gridlock. Traffic also eastbound on Pratt Street detoured. Northbound 395 closed at Conway Street. When I get off 395, boom, I go right on Conway Street. That's closed. Southbound Howard Street closed from Lombard to Conway. Congestion, as I said, crazy. Of course, you can go to radioonfire.com/news. We have a full listing of all of the street closures. So a couple of additional things. MTA's light rail link service has been temporarily suspended between North Avenue and Camden stations. So they got a shuttle bus for that. This weekend, 4 home Oriole games will be played at Camden Yards. So the downtown closures is definitely going to affect that. If you're attending the game, you're definitely going to need some extra time to get there because, as I said, it's going to be kind of crazy. Fans going to the ballpark from the north, traveling through the city, will be able to access the ballpark via Conway Street from the east or Lee Street. If you're coming from 395, you can still get into the ballpark lots and all of that good stuff. So it's just crazy. But as I said, radioonfire.com/news. You can get all of that information there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Don McKay Show, at Radio on Fire. I talked about it early, played it earlier. I have a new song out. It's called Pretty Girl. You can stream that everywhere music is sold. Apple, Tidal, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube, wherever. Check that out. I really appreciate that. I will be back here tomorrow. More information, more news, radioonfire.com/join to become a premium subscriber. See you guys tomorrow. Really appreciate it.